There's no Discord under listing. They're I think they're going to start arguing about it's not a thing. Even though the title of the event says remote duel. God damn it! I really hate community like this. I want to just tell everybody doing a deck profile of McDonald on Twitch if y'all would like to watch. Let's see. Alright, whatever. We'll just get started with this. So, on today for the channel, and I'm going to be sending to YouTube also, I am going to be discussing a deck profile on 3 vs 3 that happened this past weekend at one of TCG in Mississippi. Yeah, right now I'm with one of the top 4 players of the team, Golden Age. And if you would just like to introduce yourself into the Twitch channel.
Yeah, thanks. What's going on, guys? My name is Johnathan McDonald. I'm a member of Team Golden Age over here in Odessa, Texas. This past weekend, we drove 12 hours to Pearl, Mississippi, and played in one up TCG's locals. Sorry, not their locals, but they had a 3v3 case tournament. And in total, 23 teams showed up, so 69 people. Nice. A lot of good players from Tennessee and Louisiana, and obviously Mississippi in that area. It was definitely not a roguish tournament. There was a lot of meta and a lot of tech choices that people were playing to counter things by playing Droll in their main, obviously, but a lot of other stuff. So it was a very competitive event, and we were X1 after Swiss as a team, and then we lost in top 4. I personally went 7-0 for the day in terms of matches. I only dropped 3 games in total. I played against three Dino players, 2 Drytron players, 1 Dragon Link player, and 1 Brain Kids player. And the only games I lost were to the Dragon Link player, Brain Kids player, and 1 of the Drytron players.
Ooh, you lost it. Oh, okay. How was that matchup with the Dragon Link?
He went first, and I think I drew Valor, Eva, Orange Light, so it was a pretty good recovery.
Okay.
And then I top deck droplets, but I only had 1 Drytron in hand, so I couldn't combo.
Also, there is a comment on the stream chat that you are a crack player. You are pretty good. You have represented Texas pretty well.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Team Golden Age is one of our local teams in Texas. They're located more based off Odessa, and they're pretty close to me. They're like about 2 hours away, and McDonald's one of my boys. He's going to be helping out with my channel, and but he also represents for Team Golden Age, and when he plays on the competitive scene. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for those watching the recording, this is gonna be more of a theory talk than just a basic deck profile. So if you want to go ahead and maybe shift over, put this in the background, it's gonna be kind of like a mini podcast, and it's gonna be a lot of theory behind what was played and why certain things will be cut now.
Yep. All right. And so you played Drytron this weekend, and so what was your choice on doing with this deck?
So this is just the best deck, like
of the format.
Yeah. It plays through more. Obviously, Droll hurts the deck a lot, but as far as like everything else, it just plays through everything else. Like, Imperm is the other main counter. So if people play Imperm and Droll in the main, okay, cool, you're hedging your bets. But there are other decks. But this was definitely the most represented deck at the event that I felt like as well. Kobe Short was there with his team, and his entire team was playing a Drytron build. I'm pretty sure they were on the same build.
Hey, I heard Kobe got the works on by one of the people on the chat.
Yeah, shout out to Dylan Torres for beating Kobe Short in the 5th round of Swiss. Good job, Dylan. Fucking freaking.
Yeah. He may show up a little bit later, but his brother's on there. But yeah, so like their team they clapped up that team.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, Kobe's team got paired down and Dylan clapped them, so it's pretty cool.
team, uh, Texas teams, man, they just showing up there.
Exact. That's what I'm saying, bro. But I guess we can go ahead and dive into just like the basis of the deck profile.
Okay, so I guess we're gonna start off with the best card coming out of Lightning Overdrive, possibly, which is gonna be
Oh,
Diviner of the Herald.
yeah, Diviner and the XYZ coming out of Lightning Overdrive are literally what put this deck back on the map. Like,
Because
it's insane.
it fell off favor, right?
Yeah, because Union Carry got banned and Bensang got put to one, so the deck just kind of got bad. But a lot of people theory out this deck with like different ratios for Diviner, either at 2 or at 3. But and there's nothing wrong with that. It's a different theory that people have, but I'm just kind of trying to play a keep it simple, stupid kind of build
Yep.
in terms of response cards and like how the combo orients itself and what you can draw. So 3 Diviner because it's the only normal summon you want to see.
Okay.
You
The
don't want to
only
see
one.
Eva, because that's like red brick almost. You don't want to have to normal summon an orange light or a Veiler just to make like an IP and pass. So Diviner is definitely the best consistency card in the deck, I would say, because of being able to send Herald of Arclight and search like your missing piece, or if you need the ritual spell because your Zeta was ashed or something.
Okay. Yeah,
Um,
being able to send the Herald of the Arclight and just start your combos with that, it puts you in such a position to
mhm.
just get ahead of your opponent.
Yeah, and as you'll see, I also play Elder Entity Intis. So it basically turns Herald into a 1 card out for Zeus.
Okay.
So like if your opponent clears your board and ends on a Zeus, you get to clear the Zeus and play the game. It also helps out floodgates. Like there can be only one, especially if you're locked into just one machine and you don't have any fairies on board. You just normal the diviner and pop the Tikaboo, and you just get to play.
Yep. And
So
just be
there's
able
a
to
there's
play
a
through
lot of
it.
different synergy. Yeah, you can also do combo variants with it, like play Black Rose in the deck or something. And a lot of people are playing Chaos Ruler and things like that, but I don't play those cards because it it doesn't really facilitate what the deck is wanting to do overall, in my opinion. It's cool to have a board wipe in your extra deck like Black Rose, like that's cool, yeah, but let's just play Zeus. Let's just play down in Zeus. Let's just keep it simple.
Because Black Rose can still like. There's a lot of stuff that can still just hit stuff that like Dingirsu. Let's just say
Hmm.
one of those cards like be able to protect from stuff that destroys. While Zeus
Hmm.
gets over a lot of stuff because there's not a lot of stuff that can negate as much as destruction when you're sending just
Hmm.
board wipes, just sending the stuff to the grave.
Plus Zeus is not once per turn or once per chain,
Yep.
and it's a machine that you can use for your Drytron rituals and you know, so it's nice. There's a lot more synergy, and all you have to do is play Zeus and then a downerd, and it just gives you like you can have easier advantage in a lot of scenarios.
Okay. And
Um,
the next card on your list I see is Drytron Alpha Thuban.
yeah. So I'll kind of talk about all the Drytrons at once. So you play 3 Alpha, 3 Zeta. That's really standard because the whole combo is Alpha Zeta. Like if you draw Alpha Zeta, you get the entire board plus all your cards in your hand still, kind of thing. So it's just insane what it does with how the combo's oriented now and like how it's evolved. 1 Delta because you play Prosperity, and Delta's not necessarily always the best option, but it's another name.
Yeah.
And then 2 Gamma because drawing it is nice sometimes, but you don't always want to see it until later in the combo. You would just rather have Alpha or Zeta.
Just
I
to
wasn't
begin with.
right. I was messing around with 1 Gamma and 1 Delta, but it kept coming up to where I wasn't seeing enough Drytron names in my hand because I don't play Field Spell. I don't play the Field
Uh,
Spell, so it's essentially less copies of Drytron names. So bumping up the Gamma back to 2 is correct.
oh,
I don't really think the deck can afford to play 1 Gamma unless they put in 1 Beta. And Beta will probably come into play later in the format because of cards like Cycle Reader becoming more popular.
okay.
Um, so yeah, that's it for the Drytrons. It's what the deck is.
How you liking Valor in your main?
Honestly, I hated it all weekend.
Ooh.
uh, it was nice to Valor like the mirror, to Valor the XYZ or Valor like a Tri Brigade when they normal summon it, but otherwise it was very underwhelming. I played it at 2 to keep the deck at 40 because I was playing 2 Ritual Spell.
Mm-hmm.
which is also incorrect now in my opinion. But yeah, it was just really underwhelming. The theory is you play Veiler instead of Imperm because you can at worst normal summon the Veiler with another Drytron on field and make your XYZ. Cool.
Yeah,
Uh, that never happened. That
that
didn't
never
come up.
happened. Okay.
No, never came up. Never came up to where I was in that scenario. I can see where it can happen. I can see. I can see the theory. I can see the reasoning behind it, but it didn't come up.
Okay.
And I
Uh,
told you guys my matchups, but yeah.
okay. And then now we have the big boy of the format that is starting to hit like 200 and above. Herald of the Orange Light.
Yeah, we
We've
watched Ulti Orange Light get bought out that night. It was crazy. But Orange Light, you play three of it. It's, your deck has a lot of fairies in it, and Orange Light's a monster negate, so going second, going first, it's fine. Helps you play around Nib, helps you play around Droll. Well, not around those cards, but it helps you stop them, I should say.
yes,
Uh, yeah, because getting Droll is ugh. Big oof. And then
and it's easy
and
to
then
search out
just
with this deck, right?
oh yeah, you search it with Ben 10 or so you're either gonna search it with Ben 10 or you're gonna hard open it. That's how the deck gets it. Or you can rip it off of Prosperity. So there's a few ways, but pretty much draw it, get it off the Ben 10, whatever. Your hand, you can sculpt your hand all day long, but it really just you need to draw X cards with this deck sometimes to play, but otherwise uh Alpha Zeta just gets you there. So you're always gonna have like possibly three other cards to interact with your opponent.
And now we, at least for the main, or no, we start the rituals, but we have Ava coming up.
Yeah, Eva, you play two because how the combo does stuff with Beatrice now. You end up getting four cards in your hand because of this thing. It's stupid, bro. Like this card's gross.
It does so much for so little.
Yeah, exactly. It just hits the grave and it just goes.
And,
Um, yeah, and then the rituals. I'm just gonna talk about the rituals all at once.
okay.
It's a one Ben 10 obviously because the card's stupid good.
Yep.
Not once per turn. One E to 10, which E to 10 is specifically why I'm now after the event playing only one ritual spell. Is just the E to 10 combo is just clean. It just facilitates it so much easier. One Natasha because that card's broken, and then
Oh, this card needs to get hit, I feel like.
and then one Ultimateness because this card is also broken. Um, I don't really care for the pre-prep builds. The deck may have to go that way after the ban list and after the format shifts, but as of right now, I don't think pre-prep is right. I don't think it's necessary. But Ultimateness is just insane, bro. You negate anything or negate special summons, like Dragonlink Kit doesn't play through that without Dark Ruler.
Yeah,
Like,
I tried. I played against my boy, and I tried doing like four negates, or I tried doing like four cards to like break his board, and it couldn't. And then I just had only one card left, and I was just like, this is not gonna do anything to it. So I was just like, gotta scoop. Like the overwhelming advantage of the deck has also just being able to recover itself
yeah,
off just a few cards is just ridiculous.
yeah. Like your grave is completely loaded with Drytrons after your turn, and if you didn't play for like recovery or follow up, you all you have to do is top deck any Drytron. You can top deck any of your three Novas or any of your other Drytrons or ritual monsters that you didn't search, and you just get to play the game again. It's really good. That's another thing that I wanted to talk about is like the Megalith package. A lot of people are playing the Megalith package with this deck because it's a resource game.
Yes.
Um, if you just play the deck well, you don't need it. I would rather have response cards because I play the deck well. At least I think I do. I play the deck fairly well, and it's yeah, it's all about how your card economy and your resource game and your min maxes and things like that. Like you don't need like a megalith package just to get stuff back and keep comboing and go for big boy boards. Like my boards all day. I ended on I like to keep the XYZ, the Drytron XYZ personally. So I would end on the Drytron XYZ, Linkribo IP, Ultimateness, and Beatrice. And
That's all you need.
people scoop because you have four fairies in your hand for Ultimateness at a minimum. So
And
it's
people just
just
don't realize it. Like they want to like instead of just grinding it out, just like it's so much better to be able just to put a full stop to people's like hands instead of just being like, okay, like how much of this is actually going to be able to go through and all that.
exactly. And if they hand trapped you at any time in your turn and you used Orange Light to negate it, then they have one less card. So it's just no, this deck's dumb, bro. Um, I was playing Dragon Link before this, and this deck, in my opinion, is just like it's just better in a lot of respects. Um, I played three Prosperity because there is that little theory of milling either an Orange Light or a Called By off of Prosperity. That came up all
Yep.
day. That came up all day, dude.
And
Like,
Prosperity is a good card. I feel like people like
mhm.
sleep on it so much.
Yeah, and like little tips I guess I'll give people right now. Like going first with Prosperity, I banished the Zeus package. I banished Zeus, Downard, and the Lyralisk. I banished those three. I very rarely banish six. If you're banishing six, you're telegraphing to your opponent that you have a bad hand, and they're gonna ash that.
Yep.
Otherwise, with three, people don't mess with it. People don't ash that, and then you get like an orange light or a call by. Or if you had a bad hand and you didn't telegraph it, you get your combo.
Okay.
So there's a lot of things that you can do with this card. Three Nova because it's more Drytrons. It's an emergency teleport, just not a quick play. It's a good card. Uh, so I'm gonna talk about the three one-off spells real quick. Called
Okay.
by Instant Fusion and Foolish. Called by and Instant Fusion are essentially the same card in respects, because you play Millennium Eyes. Uh, I opened Instant Fusion a lot. Card's cracked, bro, with Millennium
Yeah.
Eyes.
It
And
just clears up so
yeah,
much.
and at the worst, Millennium Eyes is a level one for your XYZ, so it's nice. Foolish is just another Drytron name, and people don't really think about that. Foolish just puts your missing piece in grave. You could just have Zeta in hand, and you could Foolish and Alpha and full combo with four other cards in your hand. So, well, sorry, with three other cards in your hand. So it's just another Drytron name.
Okay.
And then I played three emergency. Sorry, I'm kind of skipping around on here.
I don't
Three
know. No
emergency
worries.
because it's also more Drytron names.
Yep.
And then two of the ritual spell, which I now am convinced is incorrect.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the, there's a lot of arguments with it. You play two if you're playing like the big boy ritual in your main or in your side, which I was playing on the side. But it's not a lot for what you're committing, honestly.
So you only saying
Um,
that just play one?
yeah, I'm only gonna play one from now on. Like,
Oh.
you don't need it.
Oh.
The other theory is like if it gets DD Crowed, but if someone's using freaking DD Crow right now instead of Psycho Reader, I don't know what they're doing.
Hey, maybe they want
Honestly.
to. Maybe they want to hit Ultra Guy stuff, traps, and I don't know.
Yes, because we're all worried about Altergeist right now. Yes, that's right.
Hey, I'm just trying to think of something that's relevant that be in the graveyard that you can get back. That's like a spell or trap.
Oh yeah, totally. And then I played three Droplet because this deck loves cards that can put Drytrons in grave for free, and it's just good cards that get you advantage out of it. Droplet came up all day. I never negated a window or anything. I wasn't really worried about that. But I did
Hmm.
negate. I didn't negate a lot of the mirror. Like the two mirrors that I played, I negated ultimate in this pretty much every game.
Okay.
And then with Dino, combo Dino, it was negating like Apo and uh, Conductor and stuff, and they can't chain Misk or anything. Um,
Because Droplet is OP like that.
right. Yeah, with pranks, negating the Butler before they were tributed, or if they made the mistake of banishing Meow Mew, whatever, from the grave instead of tributing Butler, because it's a mistake against Drytron to not tribute it because they play Droplet.
Yep.
Um, then you just punish like really hard. And there's other things like that. Dragon Link, obviously, Spheres and Savage, and then you just have to play through a Tidying, which is bad against Drytron. That's why Dragon Link's falling out of popularity because, okay, I get hand trapped. Dragon Link can get hand trapped in on Seals, Tidying, Savage Pass, or just Seals Tidying, and two bounces against Drytron is nothing.
Yeah, that is very true.
Yeah, you can bounce the XYZ, you can argue for everything you want, but the deck's still going to out advantage you at that point. But yeah, that's it for the main. Like I said, the only things I'm changing is I'm taking out the Veilers and the the ritual spell for other cards that I'm not going to discuss at this time.
All right. Would you like to start off with the side or the extra deck?
We'll go ahead and go to the extra.
Okay.
So the extra is pretty straightforward. I'll do the Zeus package. It's Zeus, Downard, and the Lyrilisk. Straight up, Downard is worth playing. For the slot, I cut the second Herald for the Downard because it comes up too much where you need two Zeus effects to clear board, and it's just worth it.
Okay.
I play the Lyrilisk over the Kaya, the little parrot bird, because the Lyrilisk can protect itself with one material being detached instead of two, like the bird has two. Plus, the Lyrilisk can attack directly.
Yep.
Then play the one Beatrice because it's part of the combo. It sends your Eva, and if it comes down to it, which I've had to do quite a few times, you send a Drytron piece that you're missing. Because your your XYZ, your Mu Beta Fafnir will get impermanent Veilered or Gammaed at worst.
At worst.
So yeah, play two of the XYZ specifically for the reasoning that I just said that it's gonna get messed with. It will get messed with. And then gonna skip over to the non-links. Played one Herald. I'm probably gonna cut one card from this extra deck to play two Herald because follow-up is really good.
Really?
So yeah, being able just to guarantee you get to do your Drytrons because if you still have a Diviner in hand and you don't draw a Drytron, you need to be able to send Herald in search of Ritual Monster and then play all your Drytrons in grave because you're gonna have Ben 10, Eda 10, and Ultimateness in grave.
Yep.
Right. So you still have a Natasha in deck, so you need to be able to search that Natasha.
Okay.
Or if you just draw a Drytron because you're good, whatever. One Intis, like I talked about earlier, for Floodgates and for like one card out to Zeus or things like that. Millennium Eyes because we play Instant Fusion, and because it's synergizes with the XYZs.
Yeah.
It goes with your whole deck. Link Rebo because everything's a level 1 that you want off the field. You activate Nova, you link off your Drytron for a Link Rebo, plus if you get drolled, you end on Link Rebo IP pass, which is fine. That's a unicorn. That's an interruption.
Yep.
Plus you can have like an orange light in your hand or a set of droplets, so you don't die.
You don't. And that's the thing to do.
Yeah, that's the thing to do with this deck. If this deck lives, you get to play and you get to win.
Yep.
Then IP, because it's part of the end board. IP is a good card, man. IP is really good. Phoenix for back row removal. I'm a firm believer in always having some form of back row removal, even if it's not in your main deck.
Yep, that's the same logic I have because I run in my Orcus, even though everything's like a dark, I just have that one spot for Phoenix. And I'm like, I need something to hit back rows because like sometimes you just get, no matter what, you gotta like always prepare for the unexpected, and literally the back rows will screw you over.
Mm-hmm. And then one unicorn for going second or for IP plays. Unicorn's a unicorn, Appaloosa, you make this against certain decks and you just win. And then access code because you like to swing for game and pop stuff too.
Yup. Access code is just getting there. Like it's easier to make than Boral Sword, and it gets the job done. Unfortunately, like I've been thinking about getting an access code because I usually just go for Boral Sword, but I'm thinking about going with the access code now.
Yeah, Boral Sword simplifies a lot of things. You just climb right into the Boral Sword and you just kill. But I do like the option of having more utility. Plus, they can't respond to the access code effects or anything, so yeah, it's nice.
Yep.
Okay, so side deck, I'm gonna go from left to right here because left to right, I pretty much like all the cards except for what's on the right.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So three Lancia is specifically for Tri Brigade as well as Dragon Link. If it just really depended on the player and what build they're playing, kind of thing.
Or if you just get paired up with somebody who just plays 3 revolts in a row.
Yeah. Or funny guy. Can't Lancia on your turn, but yeah. And then it's also there for Dino.
Okay, so that Misk doesn't really go off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I Lancey had like a combo dino player. He's playing Scrap Dino. So he did OV and then he searched Misk and then he activated Misk and I chained Lancia and he just scooped.
Yeah, because Mist just brings so much advantage, and if you can just stop the Mist, they just literally cannot do anything. They need it to
Yep.
go off.
Yep. Droll, Droll's for the mirror. It's kind of for Tri Brigade, but not so much. I didn't really care for it against Tri Brigade, but it's really good against Dragon Link, and it's also good against Combo Dino.
All right, all right. Did you see a lot of Trapper Gate over there?
I saw a lot of people playing it, but I didn't get to play against
That's
them.
okay.
Yeah,
So damn, they went it up. They ended up in the lower tables then. Yeah,
yeah.
boy.
Then three twin because this deck doesn't care about discarding, and twin's really good. Uh, one feather, like lightning storm is good. Don't get me wrong. I would play storms, but I don't want to get killed by Imperial Order.
Yeah,
Like that's almost an FTK. Like if they have Imperial Order plus like one or two hand traps, they win.
they won. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So yeah, Feather Duster and then reboot. I'm keeping the reboot. Reboot's nice. I don't want to get blown out by a trap deck.
You
You
know,
know.
I don't see reboot being played on a lot of decks, but when I see the Texas meta, like just all around Texas, I see red reboot always being played, and I do it too because like it's just I guess it's more like a Texas thing where we always have
Mm.
a lot of more back rows and like anti meta within the
Yeah.
state.
Yeah. And with how Tri Brigade is right now, going second against Tri Brigade, I side in the Lancias and the back row removal instead of the Trolls. Just because it's better overall because they are playing the back row builds with Tri Brigade right now. Oh, you stopped my combo, cool, set three pass, and it's usually a blowout.
Yep.
Hey, guys.
Yo, I don't know who this is. Oh, Adrian. Hey, what up?
What's up, y'all?
Nothing much. We're doing a deck profile right now on Twitch.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Congratulations, John, by the way, for doing so well out there.
Oh, appreciate it, appreciate it. Thank you.
He had to because
Completely forgot.
I would have made fun of him. I'd have been like, "Damn, you got that Trevor Gate loss on your head." Hey, it's not my fault that you just saw the three revolts.
For those of you that don't know, this man counts testing as like tournament play. You could literally be testing like a jank build, and he's like, "Oh, I just destroyed you." Yes,
Hey, hey,
that is the content creator you are watching.
yes.
No, listen, bro. McDonald's deck was never losing to Tri Brigade.
Hey, we might do another like matchup. You might just see him getting clapped up.
Listen, bro. Okay, listen, bro. Against my Tri Brigade deck, I can't guarantee it, but hey.
I always have to give.
But let me play one of the big boy ritual. I like this card; it's cool, but I'm not gonna play it anymore.
Oh, why?
It's too much of a resource. It's too many resources committed to ending on it. Like you end on. So what you have to do, right, is you need to keep a material under your XYZ, the Mu Beta Fafnir,
Yeah.
so it can be a spell trap negate. Because this is for back row decks. This XYZ is for back row decks. Anyone that says anything otherwise is mistaken, in my opinion. Because like sending two is cool, but you can just negate the summons or negate the cards when they activate them with ultimateness. The resources you have to commit to this, you're only ending on the Mu Beta Fafnir, ultimateness, and this, and maybe two fairies in hand. So it's just, in my opinion, not worth it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a cool card. I like it, but no.
In theory, is just or in reality, like in theory, it'd probably be better, but in reality,
Yeah, in theory it
just,
sounds great, but in reality, when you end on it and you have just like two or three cards in hand and no follow up, I mean, yeah, you contribute if your dry town's engraved, but man.
yeah, that's fair. And then the last card.
Yeah, 3 alpha. Alpha's nuts right now. It's really good. I didn't side it the entire day. Yeah, it didn't come up enough. The original theory was like it can break a Dragon Link board just by itself, but Droplet does that too.
Yep.
So it's a lot of things. Alpha's really good. I don't know. I guess the matchups I played it didn't come up enough, but as of right now, I'm cutting Alpha and I'm cutting the Ritual, and I'm playing different cards.
And then I'll get that content once he does another big tournament so that he can report.
Yeah, yeah, guys. This wasn't a small tournament, like we said earlier. It was 69 people, 23 teams. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good sized regional right now. Like that's nothing to scoff at. So like all the players that did well at that tournament, like dab them up a little, man. Like they did pretty good.
You know, and luckily we were able to show that Texas has good players. You know, because a lot of Texas teams also went to show love in Mississippi, and and be part of the tournament. And hats off to all those guys that were able to go in from there. And I have played in Memphis. I lived there for a bit, and so I got to know all about for the people in the tri-state area. So I know the competition is usually very fierce over there.
Yep. But yeah, I'll go ahead and do shout outs then. Shout out Team Golden Age. Shout outs versus TCG, our sponsor. Shout outs to everybody that let me borrow cards. Alan, Johnny, obviously Tom and Adam. And if I'm forgetting someone else, I apologize. Oh, David. Shout outs to David for getting me the other cards. And yeah, shout outs to John Adias for testing, and Gio for testing, and Dylan Lorenzo, everybody on the Discord for testing. Like y'all came in clutch. Y'all put enough hours in with me to make it happen. So wouldn't have gone 7-0 if I hadn't tested with y'all like I did.
Yeah, like that week, he just told us like, "Hey, I need like testing with y'all like every day," and we were like, "Okay, we can do it because we again we're all like pretty much close friends and we want to be able to support each other. And so when one of us need help, like we all just come in for each other because again, it's just like one of the unique things, especially because we all live within a couple hours of each other, and so we're usually like a tight group."
Yep. Yeah, Texas doesn't have a lot of density, but the towns that do have locals, we all try to support each other and link up when we can.
Yup. That's one thing that I do like about the Texas community. Ever since I've been here, we've been like, for the most part, we've been a tight group.
Yep. But make sure you guys like and subscribe to this man's channel right here and follow his Twitch for the best Call of Duty live streams on Twitch.
Yeah. Because you may not get the most awesome content, but you'll get a laugh of my like failures.
Yeah.
So.
And for those of you that are Latino, yo hablo español, we will do some Spanish streams.
That is not a tissue box. Goddamn. Okay. Ever since I've been to Texas, I've had mad allergies. Like I had to get like a surgery. And because there was so much stuffiness in my nose, so I wanted to defend myself and say that is not for what people are saying.
Yeah.
And yes, we do. But we're both named Johnathan, and we both speak Spanish, and we can do Spanish content. So as the channel grows, obviously, if there is a Latino community and they just want to hear us talk in Spanish in regards to the content, we can do it, because me, myself, I'm Colombian Mexican, and I lived for a couple of years in South America, and so my Spanish is like at least decent. And I sometimes make fun of McDonald's for his, but boys lived in Mexico for a little bit, and he's been there a couple times, so don't.
Couple, yeah, just a couple, just a couple,
just a couple, more than a couple, but
So yeah, thank you guys, and last second shout out to Dylan for beating Kobe Short. That actually is insane,
bro. That was insane, yeah.
Also, shout out to Justin for going to his first big event. He did really well. He got a little bit of nerves, but it's a notch in his belt, and he's gonna do better next time.
Yo.
Oh, also shout out to Adam for agreeing not to play a bad deck anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys.
So yeah, thank you everybody for watching. This is going to get also posted onto Facebook and to YouTube. And yeah, if you like content like this, and where we have players that more in-depth profiles and talking about their actual decks and like their, a little bit of their matchups, I will gladly do this type of content for people because it seems to be favorable. And so thank you very much. And you don't have any more shout outs, right?
I'm good, bro.
Okay, you're good. You're good. I just wanted to make sure, you know. But yeah, so thank you, everybody. And that will be the end of the stream. So thank you.